does everybody remember this basic scale form that we did to death last term? So that one. Starting there, right? I'm just going to give you a little bit of a, because I'm not going to get to everybody instantly, so I'm just going to give you something to mull over. And it's like this kind of most condensed recap of 10 weeks' work that I can come up with. You can explore some of this I'll put this on the board, and you can explore it in whatever order you want, and some of you can just, I'll finish off with the exercise that I want you to do if you're all comfortable with that basic form. Right, so, you know when you're saying about theory, it's not going down the way you might think. It just starts looking that way. Now, I'm going to go a little bit slower than I would do if ever you'd all done this, but if you used to play do, re, mi, a good thing to do is you don't need to know a scale. That is a major scale, but you don't need to know it. If you can picture that sound in your ear, and then find it on your guitar, you're home free. Really, that's all you need to do. It's like you don't need to memorise stuff if your ear will do the work for you. Now, what we did last term was we started with a long. Most people, if you got that lady that was in just her first lesson, and she brought a guitar in, and it was slack. It wasn't even tuned up to. It come from the shop, and it wasn't even tuned up, so she'd never touched a guitar. But I guarantee you, if I'd have said in a different set of circumstances, if I'd have said, play me, do any tunes, think of a tune and try and play it, they'd have, if you'd have played which is the tune we used last week. It's a real rock and roll course, isn't it? But they'd play it that way. You stick a guitar in anybody's hand, do as an experiment, stick it into somebody's hand that has never played, and get them to try and work. As long as they're happy to sit there for about half an hour or 45 minutes to get 3 notes out of it, people generally work up and down the string. So it's nice to look at this shape, and the pattern that I just played was this. It goes there, 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 there. Does it? Yeah. There, there, and there. Right? Now, this is the notes. Actually, I'll just do as quick as I can through the notes that I was going to hand out. So when you get them, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if you go to play that, then what you'll end up doing is you play the note, you'll think, and you'll play the note, then you'll think. You might get a couple of notes out of it, but then you'll think, all the way. So you've got all this play is broken up with thinking. So everybody does this. Most players do this, but they can't verbalise it. It took me about 7 or 8 years to kind of get the language to verbalise what I do naturally. But what we did last term over a few weeks was we grouped this, because we've got to get from here to here. And we've got to go, and the notes have got to go up stepwise, which is why scale is like the Italian word for scale. It's the Italian word for staircase, scala. And so you should infer from that the notes should move smoothly up. Because when you get to playing that, it's quite easy to do something wrong, because your brain tells your fingers to do something instead of your ear telling your fingers to get that in there. So what we do is we group the notes into 3 groups, right? And so that means that the thinking time, you're only allowed to think before you start, in between the group. So you only have to think in 3 places. And it wasn't until the end of last term, after I was doing it with everybody, that I thought that there was a key thing that I did mention, but I'm going to keep hammering it home this term, which is I was saying exclusively when we first started that your thinking is looking forward to start there before you start playing. So you say, what am I going to play? I'm going to play these 2 notes. It's going to be the open string I'm going to skip the first fret and I'll play the note on the second fret. Then I'm going to stop and I'm going to think, because I'm going to work out what my next thing's going to be. You stop there, you say, where's my start note? There. What's the shape? What's the shape of the three notes group in there? Tone, semitone, tone. Then you play it. So all my thinking was about, all my instruction was about thinking ahead of what you're going to play next. But it's really important to stop. It's like a fine wine. It's like treating the scale like a fine wine. And it's a bit of a reach, maybe, but it's you want to hear you want to allow the after image of what you've just played to hit for you to. So otherwise you'll never know what you're playing, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to play as you play it. All the times you've played the same thing in the past, it's ingrained in you, so you know it's wrong by the way it deviates from what you expected to play. But I guarantee you, I mean, this is one of the things I think you'll have experienced for 5 years, is you're on the wrong, they put you on the wrong side of the guitar. Instructors, it's really easy. What I mean by being on the wrong side of the guitar is you play it, then you hear it. You go, you didn't know what it was going to sound like till you play it, because you're reading it off a sheet or you're doing, something, right? But after you've played, I mean, the work that I think everybody did last term, which was really proud of, was the fact that you could tell from the way you played just a simple scale run that it was already inside you, and that's what the process I'm trying to get is so that you can get these things inside you. We'll all be on a level playing field in a couple of weeks, because we're going to do this is the fingering for this, but we're going to start from scratch with a different fingering for many reasons. That'll be like, by the time the end, I'm just confident by the end of the term you're going to go. It's like a Zen awakening. You're going to get. I can get really. I don't make those claims quite. I often don't deliver them, but I don't make them lightly. So, but the thing is once you've grouped, you can play them up the string. So, like I say, you might want to have a go at that. But can you see? Can everybody see? If I take this one, that's there. This one is on the bottom, and this one is on the top. So you play this followed by this followed by this upper string, but you could play this followed by this followed by this, and you play in this direction. So you play here. You have a start note, and you play. There's only one extra note in that one. Then you look for your next start note. So I'll do it like this. Look, start note. That's the same note as that. And then you play up by skipping a fret to 1. So you play that one. Then you go to your next start note. Yeah? But your next start note zigs back to there. Yeah? And then you play semitone, tone. Exactly the same, semitone, tone. It's the same string word. Call it a grouping, I'll call it a string word, right? And then the last one, start note, tone, semitone. Start note, tone, semitone. So you have to play this across the neck. Let's make this the fifth. Let's make this the fifth string, which is A, and let's make that the fifth fret on the bottom string. Now that's equivalent. So I'll play that. I'll play the fifth. I'll play the A string, which is. I want you to play it like this. Savour what you've just played, like a fine wine. Find your new start note. In fact, play each phrase a couple of times. Find your new start note. Once you've savoured it, look for your new start note, play it, then savour. It's like it's food for your ear. Now, so you hear that. So, sorry. Now listen. It's the same scale. Just see, it's just a different fingering pattern. You can learn a lot from that, but it's just by playing and discovering. I don't want you don't worry about getting all of this under your belt. It's just explaining the principle. Because I would just wing this just to get acquainted with the process. Because we're starting with a different fingering for the major scale either next week or the week after. So depending on how many late nights I take between now and then. So I'm going to come round now and I'll start with Keith. I'll start, and then I'll work back to the front. But the last thing is, the other thing is this. If you come, the other thing is, from A, I'm going to play this just out loud. Those of you will know what to do. You play it from a root on always on the 5th fret. So move across to the A string. So start on the bottom string. Then next one, 3rd D string. With you modify the finger in, and then last one. So if you know the fingering modifications, just practice that. But again, I'd rather you go. It's a bit, I'm pushing it a bit to say savour that. There's not much to savour, but you go. What I recommend that you do, play the next start note. We'll be doing some exercises like that with some form of scale as we progress. So you can don't necessarily just stick to the string words. You know, you'll be alright to just try different runs and start. This is a good one, but I'll come to you anyway. But so you go. Do it one a couple of times. That kind of thing, you know. But just once you. Yeah, so let me come round and I'll let you have a chance to tinker, and then obviously you'll all have different things to address, so I'll just give you a couple of pointers and then we'll move on to some more fun stuff.